MotorWeek is made possible by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper and TireRack.com.
Obviously, the Japanese are going to be more and more involved in vans in the future.
Well, don't tell anybody that in Detroit. Thanks, Joyce. Now, let's move on to our second road test and second coupe of the week. It looks like this is a body style that's getting pretty popular again. Now, the in-car might be for everybody, but this car is only for a select few. This is the Mercedes-Benz 500 SEC, the two-door flagship of the Stuttgart fleet. Now, this big Benz is more than just an attractive status symbol. Over the last year, they've not only added more performance, but the latest in safety technology, too. This big 112-inch wheelbase S-Class sports coupe still looks as stunning as it did when it first came out in 1982 as the 380 SEC. The large and graceful look remains the same, but last year it got a new set of numbers in its name when Mercedes added 30% more displacement and 29 horsepower to its all-aluminum fuel-injected V8. Ratings are now 184 horsepower and 247 pounds of torque. But unlike most domestic high-output Vs, the underhood tone of this Mercedes is a true cat-like purr. Only the Jaguar's V12 gives you less notice that the engine might be working hard under acceleration. Before you know it, you've gone from 0 to 60 in only 9 seconds and done a quarter mile in 16.8 seconds at 85. Very impressive results given the 500 SEC's 3,750-pound weight. On the demanding curves of the Summit Point Raceway, we found even more evidence of excellent execution. As the road twists and speeds climb, relaxed passengers ask, "Are we really going that fast?" Nothing to it, you reply, since the 500 SEC's handling shines brightest under stress. Even though it's a very nose-heavy car, it feels almost nimble. An independent suspension keeps firm pavement contact despite too hard and small tires. Powerball type steering has the right level of turning resistance, and only the out-of-place yacht-size steering wheel keeps the serious driver from slicing and dicing. But though we occasional visitors to the 500 SEC want to talk about its performance, owners find other things to rave about, like its beautiful styling. The 500 SEC's flowing and surprisingly aerodynamic shape does a fine job of masking its over 16.5-foot length. The overall drag coefficient of 0.35 is in fact only a bit more than the most slippery of production cars. The 500 SEC also reminds us of what a coupe body style is supposed to be. No body-stiffening B-pillar here, none needed. What you get is a clean, window-down, open appearance that's almost been forgotten. As you might expect, Mercedes made sure that the 500 coupe size is also functional. The trunk should be able to handle just about any upper-crust cargo in volume. And open the lightly sprung doors and traditional understated Mercedes-Benz elegance awaits. It's hard to ignore the genuine walnut accents and leather upholstery. It puts ordinary cowhide interiors out to pasture. The seats are firm, have excellent support, and are adjusted with Mercedes' nifty electric switches that look like miniature cushions. A seat position memory makes sure you always have the setting you want. But the 500 SEC is hardly perfect. Like all cars, there are a few items that still cause us to scratch our heads in bewilderment. A test pilot might like the clear analog gauges, but you have to wonder why a near-useless economy meter is included. After all, Mercedes-Benz is supposed to mean functionality with style, not fluff. And Mercedes ought to offer a prize to the first person who can figure out how to work the high-buck Becker Grand Prix electronic radio. It's one of the most needlessly complex units around. But the real illogical touch comes when you turn the key. Look out, because here comes a gremlin-like arm to hand you the shoulder belt. Now, without it, the belts would be difficult to reach, but there must be a less complex solution. And if you refuse the offer, the electronics often got hung up on taking no for an answer. However, back on the positive side is the optional supplemental passive restraint system. Only offered by Mercedes-Benz, it combines a driver airbag and knee bolster with front shoulder belts that increase tension in collisions. Only mandatory seatbelt usage laws could make this system work better. Another high-tech safety device standard in 1985 on this and other Mercedes products is a state-of-the-art anti-lock brake system. It uses a computer control to prevent wheel lock-up during hard braking. This reduces the tendency to skid, especially on wet roads, and improves driver control on what was already one of the best all-disc brake layouts around. Our normal test of repeated stops from 55 produced an amazingly short average of only 100 feet. Other owner notables should include a tomb-like noise level of only 64 decibels at 55 and a power sunroof that produces minimal interior air turbulence. On the ordinary side, though, is a real-world fuel economy test average of 19. Mercedes has been so successful at building status symbols that even the 500 SEC's $1,000 gas guzzler tax might be something to brag about. But what's $1,000 on a car with a base price of almost $57,000 anyway? We admit that the price of the 500 coupe is outrageous and that a lot of other cars can match or beat its performance for half as much. But it's just not quite the same. Lower-priced competitors might claim parity, and skeptics might say it's just the lofty price that keeps the Mercedes-Benz 500 SEC so exclusive. But we found what owners already knew, that this is only half the truth.
Maybe we can get that car for a long-term road test, say for about 20 years. We'll see you next week on MotorWeek.